Jesus Christ.
It's good stuff. I'm very pleased with the new console.
Yeah, it's a good console. I've got the baby version of your console.
Yeah.
Ah! It's the baby!
That was really loud.
This guy, I tell you. Oh, look at him. Sneaky.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a ghillie suit on. That's a ballsy move.
I am the Rock.
That's a very convenient pile of dirt.
Hmm. I find it odd though that the camera angle currently being recorded also has a walking bob animation.
Yeah, it's like diegetic. So you climb over the rocks here.
Recon Team Bravo reporting.
It's literally like our character is being followed by someone.
Starting to get crowded up here, Cat.
Yeah. It's the cameraman.
Yeah, they just got a cameraman perpetually following them around.
Yeah. The phantom on the right gets stuck, by the way, if you watch top right of the screen.
Here, you may need these. High velocity, armor piercing. You'll take their hat off an elite at 2,000 yards.
There it is.
And they ain't
It's kind of stuck in suspended animation behind the trees.
Yeah. We'll just hide this with a conveniently placed tree.
I'll be in touch.
Will you, June?
Alright. And we are in.
Nice. Let's close that.
Alright. Do you want me to do the welcome back, or do you want to do the welcome
Yeah, go on.
Okay, cool. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to episode 3 of our Halo Reach playthrough on the Cartographer series. Today we're going to be tackling Long Night of Solace, discussing a few interesting tidbits, and talking quite a lot about June's history, if possible, as well as the fleet that has landed at Reach. As as almost always, I am your co-host, Dashie, and we have Installation 00, who is your usual host, who is apparently really, really into bushes.
Oh, I was just changing my field of view.
Oh, okay, good. It's nice having a field of view slider. So if everything looks smoother and more zoomed out, that we're not...
Really nice
I was
You were
I was nudging you off, yeah. Yeah.
It's really nice environment design they've done for this.
Oh, it's wonderful. Especially, I love the sort of jagged sort of mountains. So it look like sharks' noses off in the skybox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Very nice.
We'll see something like that. So, if you guys are noticing a field of view change, that's because I've upgraded console, and now I'm a pro MLG Halo player or something. Although I am noticing artifacts around the bottom left of my screen. That's kind of weird, the way the smoke and the clouds stretch on the edge of the screen. But yeah, welcome back. Oh, where you going, Munchkin? Alright, Assassin's Creed, this one.
Boing. I'll just, watch you kick the living snot out of, Okay.
Oh, how have I done that with the pylon? Look at that. That's brilliant. I'm a man of many talents.
Dashie's got mad skills.
Wait one sec. It's the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. So yeah. Welcome everyone. We are here.
We are here.
Live from the past.
Well, I'm here. You're over there.
Well, no. I'm everywhere. And nowhere.
June is above us somewhere.
No, I think he's behind us. He's right here.
You right? Ah!
That's a good running animation.
It is a good running animation. It's just that he's going nowhere fast. There you go, June. Dashie had to help June from being stuck behind a stick, and to think this guy was responsible for some of the early Spartan-IVs being recruited.
It would explain some incompetence.
Recon Bravo to Noble 2. Stand by for contact report.
Standing by
Okay.
for copy, over.
We have eyes on multiple hostiles patrolling a settlement.
Oh, this is a lovely environment. It's one of my favorite environments in
Engage at your own
in
discretion.
Reach.
Keep moving.
You heard us, 6. Drop
If you look off into the clouds on the left, actually, you can see like lightning. Oh, that same sort of stuff we were seeing on
Yeah.
CE. Okay. Okay, there's one going onto that roof on the right. Here he is. Okay. See ya.
Is it just that you dropped a lot of enemies very quickly that I can see basically no enemies to kill?
No, I just killed 2 elites.
Okay.
The grunts are lower down, sort of by that thing.
I don't really want to waste my bullets on grunts.
But it's fun.
Looks like you really pissed them off.
Whoa, that was close. Ah. Boing. Boing. Why can't I get up there?
I keep getting worried that every time I shoot while I'm in active camouflage, my active camouflage is going to run out because I'm used to Crisis. Oh shit, what was that?
I can't believe I missed that. And that. Didn't miss that though. There we go. Hey.
That was June.
Hey, that was mine. You stole my kill.
That was June. Yeah, this is okay. I'm just taking a poke around. Found another one of those posters with the. Okay, never mind.
Bam.
Now it's 60 FPS, guys. Let's go. That'll do, I guess. Let's have a poke
So,
around.
interestingly enough, I mean, we're recording this the day after I released the video about the origins and history of the Spartan-IIIs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, interestingly enough, yeah, talking about June. Oh, no, oh bollocks! I fell off.
I pulled a George and committed Aliven't. Oh. You bugger.
What? What's happening? What's happening?
You're spawning me off the edge.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. I will
That's a
throw a
shame.
frag grenade back up at you if need be.
Ugh! Ow.
Thank you. Okay, now I need to go get another active camouflage module. Oh, I left my sniper rifle here as well. Okay.
I'm going to look around here.
I had the foresight to be able to leave my sniper rifle on the floor because I knew I was going to take the plunge. So yeah, this looks to be is that like a powerhouse / farming area?
Ah, it's a shotgun down here.
There you go. That's cool. So
Shotgun.
I think someone pointed this out in the comments of somewhere. Like I think it was in the first episode of Reach. There are these symbols that look like foreigner symbols that we pointed out. I
Yes.
messaged you right after we recorded that, talking about how they were actually in Marathon as well. I've seen another comment saying the same thing. But yes, we're aware that these are the symbols that appear on doors in Marathon. I do play the game. But there's a lot more references in Halo in regards to Marathon, such as the armor being named after the control scheme, which is Mjolnir Mark 4, I think it was, in Marathon. Was the default control scheme.
Yep.
As well as like a bunch of different texts, and even my emblem, which if I hold back you can see my emblem, even that is the terminal sort of symbol in Marathon, which is the reason I've got it. But yeah, but no, seriously, thanks for putting that as well, because it's good to see that the community also recognizes symbols and other things. And it's always interesting to know that there are people in the community who can also teach us stuff. That's nice. So thank you. I didn't quite catch his name or her name. Did you just my forklift? No. I've also noticed you had to respawn. What the? What have you done?
Okay. Nope.
Oh, that's. Huh. Okay, that's it's gonna be interesting for people who aren't like looking at their phone or computer. Just to listen to that.
So
what
I'm
have you
guessing.
found?
I'm guessing this is just like a kind of a, well, I suppose like a granary.
Could be.
Well, this is okay. That's called mulcher. So is that? I'm guessing that's just mulch for like growth of crops, and that looks like a grain silo. But if that's a grain silo, why does it feed into a wall? Does it feed into a wall? Oh no, it doesn't.
No,
It doesn't.
That's a conveyor.
Yeah.
Oh no, maybe it's not a conveyor.
Hang on. So it goes in here.
Can we call this one the agriculture of reach?
Yeah.
We can actually get on this roof, by the way, if you come out this way.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I think you can.
The little engine that could but didn't.
Man, if I still had a forklift truck, maybe I could get up there. Yeah.
Well, at least we can see where it goes. So it goes along there and then into
It goes
here.
up there. Yeah, but I think we can get as far as up there. We should go up this way.
Yeah, it goes up here into another grain silo. Oh, I'm getting shot at.
Oh yeah, it goes right up here into the next combat zone. Is that the elite?
As luck would have
all
it.
the way up there. Oh, it is.
Something special.
Can I talk about it? Sucks. Now, can I shoot through this? I can. Nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's clear this area out. Let's talk a little bit more about this area, because I have no idea what his peps is at all.
Very nice. Still an elite somewhere.
Up high.
Ah, on the silo. Good Dashie.
It's a good shot. I'm proud of that.
Yeah. I'm guessing these are just kind of like, part of the agriculture of Reach. I mean, it's worth noting that the way the UNSC is laid out, they had a lot of the outer colonies set up to effectively supply resources to the inner colonies. So that's why, like, Harvest is basically just a giant farm world.
Yeah, that's also why it's called Harvest.
Yeah. But that's not to say that the individual colonies didn't have to have some degree of responsibility over creating their own resources as well, just as a supplement, if nothing else. But you also got to consider that Harvest fell in 2536?
I think so. That's about right.
It's 2531 that they fought to get it back, basically. 5 years. 5 long years. That's how long it took us to get Harvest back. Okay.
It was stuck in the
Sorry.
floor. I was trying to move it.
So,
Oh, wow.
Harvest has been sort of not able to produce grain for quite a long period of time now. So I suppose the other colonies had to adapt to survive, basically.
Why did I warp all the way over here? Oh, you're up there. Okay.
Yeah. So Yeah, so I'm guessing this is just part of the agriculture of Reach. I love the skybox. It's so moody.
Oh, it's lovely. So Halo's always had like my favorite skyboxes in any game, and part of that is actually because they have a lower vertical, which, if you're not aware, is purely because they want you to explore the world more. So if it's lower, more of your camera is exposed to what the world is, as opposed to it being centered.
Yeah.
So if I were to aim at your head with this high-powered sniper rifle, to aim at your head directly,
Yeah.
I would have to witness like the rest of the world as well.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more shotgun ammo here if you need it as well.
Ooh. Thank you.
So another thing I noticed as well is on some of the buildings there's actually signs that has like 2 bunks. I think that one down there has the signs. So it shows like which ones are... Oh yeah, here we go. So it seems that it's got like a building number, and then a purpose, and then a marathon symbol underneath.
Oh yeah.
It's like this one here has a tear. I guess this is where people cry. I don't know. Yeah, there's like a water silo. Even though there's fire in here or something.
That.
Wait,
Okay, I might not be. I might not be thinking about this in the right shape, but does that circular symbol bear any passing resemblance to the actual physical layout of these buildings?
Yes, so most of these buildings are... I noticed that in the first one as well. It's like the circle represents the way the structures are.
Yeah.
So
It's like there's a hub in the center, and then there's a circular, there's buildings surrounding it, and it just kind of looks
I think
bit
it's
like
meant
that.
to bear resemblance, but isn't meant to be the exact same as.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense because we also all like the building structures on Reach, like the civilian building structures, are all in circles. Even the last area we came from, they're in a circle. If we double back,
Yeah.
which I'm going to do right now, just so people can see. Even like this last area it's sort of a circle by a cliff, really, but that central area where we... Okay, then I guess we're not going back. That's interesting.
What?
I just got warped all the way to the next loading zone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, guess we won't go back that way. Cool. But yeah, you can see that if you rewind the footage that the area is like a circle, and everywhere in Winter Contingency that you fight in, apart from the final sort of area, is also a circle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Sleeping Dog's line. So these are the Guta, right?
Yep. Well done, June.
Or as I like to call them, the Rancor. I'm gonna move before I become a fine paste on the side of Reach.
I mean, can you imagine living on a planet where these things are just part of the natural...
I don't think I want to imagine that. Also, interestingly, these bodies actually have collision when they're dead.
Yeah.
So you can jump on them. Okay, so we can get this next one uploaded.
I mean, at the moment he's just kind of happily dealing with the Covenant for us.
Got one shot left.
What the hell?
Oh my god, I assassinated him. I didn't get like an assassination animation, but... God, look at them feet. Oh no, that's a hand. It's in the way. There we go. That's an interesting hand. Dust, I know you're watching. What do you think of that?
Yeah. Well, giant sloth had big claws similar to that on Earth.
Yeah, it's okay, June. Don't worry about the thing we're trying to observe.
But yeah,
Pick any of them
yeah,
out?
giant sloth had claws similar to that.
Bravo. It's an
Probably not
indigenous
quite as
species.
large, but
I wonder if we can get on this rock over here. Likely not, but no. Hang on. No, can't go. Okay. I was trying to grenade jump. I wanted to see if you could see out that way. Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
worth-
I never noticed you could see the stars in the sky like twinkling.
ooh.
That's nice, isn't it? Not much light.
So it's worth noting that Noble 6, technically our character, is a member of Beta Company, which is the second company of Spartans that were trained. And June is actually a member of Alpha Company, the very first company of Spartan-IIIs that were trained.
Okay, so how does that so does that play in at all with sort of role selection? Was there any sort of favoritism between which ones were trained? Did anyone ever go, B's are better because they were, they had the information from training the first ones? Or?
It's widely accepted. Yeah, it's widely accepted that they got better with as each subsequent class passed by. Now, Spartan-IIIs were created to be expendable soldiers, to be sent on suicide missions. Their training was well, very similar to that of the Spartan-IIs, except you got to consider that all Spartan-IIIs were trained. So the Alpha Company were trained by Mendez, the same man who trained the Spartan-IIs, but was also trained by Kurt Ambrose, otherwise known as Spartan Kurt 051, who was actually kidnapped by Oni for a second time to train the Spartan-IIIs.
It's also the number before George.
Yeah, and Kurt was an absolute and utter unit. He was 8'2", and yeah, just pretty much overshadowed every other Spartan that could stand next to him, basically, which is kind of terrifying. But the Alpha Company, all Spartan-IIIs were trained like very brutally, to the point that even Oni and even some AIs commented to Kurt about how brutal it was, and that they were worried that it was going to break the children. All Spartan-IIIs are orphans, so as opposed to kidnapping them from their families, they were actually survivors from glassed colonies, so they had a real sort of personal vendetta against the Covenant.
Yeah.
And the Alpha Company Spartans were trained by Kurt and Mendez, and then were promptly sent out on their first missions until one particular mission, their effectively their suicide mission, I believe, was Operation Torpedo, and in that one, every last Spartan of Alpha Company died that wasn't already moved aside.
Right.
So Alpha Company, when they graduated, there were certain exemplary individuals that were that good that Kurt decided to pull them out of the bulk of Alpha Company and assign them to special tasks, June being one of them. When they were sent on their suicide mission, any of the original Alpha Company that didn't graduate were then factored in to train the Beta Company, and the Beta Company were then that much better because they were trained by Spartan-IIIs. Then the Beta Company were sent out on their missions. They mostly died, and then two of the only survivors from the Operation Pegasi Delta, which was Tom and Lucy, trained the Gamma Spartan-IIIs, which Kurt himself said were the best of the best. They were the finest of the Spartan-IIIs. So basically, lessons learned with the Alphas were taught to the Betas, and then lessons learned with the Betas were taught to the Gammas. So yeah, in a roundabout way of saying it, as each subsequent class or subsequent company passed by, they got better. So by that logic, June isn't as skilled as you and me.
Well, of course not. He's an NPC. That's bad. I apologize. Cut that, please. Done. Yeah, but no, so that's cool. So I know she mentioned Tom and Lucy. It's been a long time since I read the book. Were they not in? They've been one of the books I've read.
Yeah,
Which
they
book?
were in. They've been in a few actually. They were first appearance was in Ghosts of Onyx.
That'll be the one I've read, and they.
And more recently, they've appeared in. I think it was one of the Kilo 5 trilogy books. It was either Glasslands or Thursday War. Yeah, it's either Glasslands or Thursday War.
Ghillie suit.
Don't think it was Mortal Dictator. Not sure. So yeah, they've made a few appearances. Actually, after Pegasi Delta, Tom and Lucy were the only two survivors, and it was because of them, or rather, Fire Team Foxtrot, that pushed through to destroy the fuel refinery, that all of the Covenant forces in the area and the surviving Spartan-IIIs were killed due to the explosion. And Tom and Lucy dived into the ocean to survive it, basically.
Oh, that's right. And they had to shed their armor, right? They nearly drowned.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Yeah, I do remember reading that.
They managed to shed their SPI armor, because otherwise, it would have weighed them down and drowned them.
Sniper rifle, by the way. You're going to grab that.
They may have intel.
Oh yes, where are you?
Up here.
And then, they managed to make it to the Black Cat exfiltration craft, but Lucy remained mute rather. She didn't speak again for many, many years. And the first time she finally decided to talk was within the shield world, within Onyx, to an engineer, I believe.
Huh. And is that due to a character development or oversight on the writer's part?
No character development. She managed to overcome it. She tried to talk to Kurt when Kurt told her and Tom and the surviving Spartan-IIIs and Mendez and Halsey to go into the core room, into the shield world of Onyx, so he could basically have his final last stand. She tried to talk to him then and tried to thank him or something like that. I don't know. But she couldn't get it out. It was a half-choked cry.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, you got to bear in mind just how young these Spartans were. So I think it was in the video of the origin history of the Spartan-IIIs that I figured out that the average age of the Spartans of Alpha Company when they died was 13 years old.
Bloody hell.
Their age range was basically between 11 and 16.
Okay, June.
Didn't like leaving it to someone else to protect our home, so we came
Yeah.
back for this.
He's trying to assert dominance.
Yeah.
All over the
He's going to T-pose now.
You know, this stuff is stolen.
I tell you what, you can have the ammo from that, and I will have the fun.
There you go. I've just brought him down a peg.
Literally. So, we'll clear this area out from the Covenant. Here's what I was on about. See here. See how this has got the a little plus symbol underneath O2,
Yeah.
which means that this has a purpose. It looks to be a med bay of some description.
Makes sense, yeah. Because it could be the medical plus symbol that we're used to seeing.
Makes sense. There's a health kit in here. A bunch of medical equipment looking stuff over here. It looks like something out of Bioshock. And a hole in the floor for you to drop down and flank through.
And that hole, does it lead down to a body of water by any chance?
It does, yes.
So that might be what? The wave...
Oh my god,
like,
the emus are here.
The mower.
Yes. Ignore the pain screams you may hear.
Oh, are you killing the mower?
No, it's the Covenant.
Sure.
No face, no case. I still hear a phantom.
Although saying that, Moa burgers are a thing.
Yes, they are, yeah.
Which I'm guessing are something similar to like ostrich burgers.
Oh, turkey beggars.
Or turkey burgers, yeah. Turkey burger.
Okay, what do we got here? Bunch of...
So yeah, the Spartan-IIIs, when they were sent on their suicide missions, were generally speaking still children. I mean, Tom and Lucy were slightly older. They were the two surviving members of Beta Company from that suicide mission. So by the time it came around to the events of Onyx, they would have been, I think, in their mid to late 20s.
I mean, I remember you saying that I saw a tweet that you put out in reply to someone saying that Spartans would survive longer, almost entirely based off the fact that they're in cryogenic sleep for like longer, and so like their expected like combat time is about 200 years.
It's more than just their cryo sleep. Spartan biology is fundamentally different. They have gene therapies that elongate their lifespan. So, for example, so the reason why cells in our bodies age and die is due to the Hayflick limit, which is basically the amount of times that a cell in our body can divide until it becomes corrupt and either self-destructs or mutates to become cancerous, and then it is either destroyed by our bodies, because it mutates, or it becomes a cancer and festers.
Right.
So the Hayflick limit is, basically the amount of times that the cell can divide healthily until it either dies, self-destructs, is killed by the rest of our body, or becomes dangerous to us.
Huh.
One of the augmentations rather that the Spartans receive is a telomerase refresh. Now, telomerase are like the little plastic parts on the end of shoelaces.
Right.
But for your DNA. So with your DNA, with a shoelace, that little plastic part stops the shoelace from fraying. And with telomerase, every single time the cell divides, that telomerase protein string is worn down effectively. It doesn't copy perfectly every time until it gets to a point where there's no telomerase left and the DNA starts to fall apart, just like the shoelace would if you cut the plastic tab off. So a telomerase refresh is basically it's an adenoviral based augmentation, which replenishes the telomerase on the end of the Spartans' DNA strings,
Right.
as well as some other genetic mutations to their mitochondrial DNA and a few other aspects of their genetics, which basically means that a Spartan ages significantly slower than a normal human being. So I did a calculation for, I believe it was the Spartan-IV augmentation. No, it wasn't. It was a separate law and theory video about Spartan lifespans, and I basically found in the official Spartan field manual, it says that the fighting years of a Spartan is expected to exceed a century.
Bloody hell.
So that means the amount of years that a Spartan is going to be in combat ready fitness is going to be 100 years or greater than 100 years. Now, if you consider that most frontline soldiers tend not to be on the front line anymore once they hit sort of 40. You don't see many soldiers that are 40 plus basically on the battlefield.
Right.
So I basically just used that as a almost a meter stick to figure out how much older a Spartan could live. Because you think, like, at 40 years old, if a normal soldier, once they get to 40, it decides, okay, I'm no longer being on the front line, I'm no longer battle ready.
Yeah, it's 2.5 times that. Then it's 2.5 times that for like the lifespan.
Yeah, basically.
So
yeah,
two 80s and then 40s, 200.
Yeah. So so for a Spartan, if a Spartan's battle career is expected to exceed a century, then at an absolute base, it's basically a century times 2.5. So a Spartan's theoretical... Oh, a fish.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. A Spartan's theoretical lifespan could be 250 years. So you could have a Spartan live to be 250 years old.
That's really old.
Yeah. But the thing about Spartans is that they're because especially the Spartan-IIs, their genetics are like fantastically perfect. They have unique genetic markers that makes them basically like the peak human being basically. So it means that Spartans, as they age, they just acclimatise their augmentations more and more and more, which means as they age, they just get stronger. That's all that happens. Spartans do not weaken. They won't experience like aging like normal human beings would, where eventually you'd slow down, you'd get fatigued, you'd have muscle atrophy, your joints would start playing up. You'd start experiencing pain. There's possibilities of dementia, although it's theoretically possible that in the Halo universe they've cured dementia by the 2500s. But it basically boils down to the fact that Spartans, as they age, do not weaken. They maintain a superhuman level of physicality.
That's... I mean, I wouldn't know where to lead on from that, to be honest with you. Like... So they stop aging at a set age, and then... So
they basically stay that way.
40, and then they stay the age of 40. Like,
well, they'll reach their peak physical age, which is generally speaking somewhere in the mid-20s, basically. But it basically means that imagine being 250 years old and waking up in the morning, not having a single ache, not having a single joint playing up, not having.
Dude, I can't imagine being 22 years old and having that.
Just literally being an absolute beast into your 200th year. You could be bicentennial and still outpace even extremely physically fit normal humans.
That's the dream.
Well, again, there's a whole aspect of research that's going on at the moment as to trying to ascertain whether or not aging and becoming infirm is even necessary. They're basically looking at and treating aging like it's a disease.
I mean, to an extent, you could regard it as such, yeah.
Yeah. Those elites look intimidating as hell when they're in the dark and they're just sort of stood on an edge. Oh, for Christ's sake, the second time I missed you. They just look intimidating as hell when they're like sort of stood partially in fog, staring you down from a distance.
Yeah, there's something terrifying about them. By the way, earlier in the last firefight, I went to fire a rocket at an Elite Ultra, and his concussion rifle round blew my rocket past me, and it blew up on the cliffside about 70 meters behind me.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll get that back in theatre, and you can cut that in. And if it's not in the final video, you can blame me for that, because I will have forgotten to go back and get it. But it is really cool.
Yes, it's cool stuff like that does happen from time to time. It's like if you're quick enough in multiplayer, if someone fires a rocket at you and you've got a grav hammer, you can swing the hammer and actually
baseball.
completely... Yeah.
Can I play a game of baseball after this? Nice little game of catch in the Coliseum on Reach.
So yeah, as far as aging is concerned, Spartans do not age like normal humans at all. And I don't know, it's like this argument that people keep saying, Chief can't keep going forever. He actually fucking could if he wanted to.
He could outlive us if we kept playing the games year by year. Assuming Halo 1 took place 1 year and then Halo 2 took place the next year, which it doesn't.
Yeah.
But if they did that, the games would outlive us. Which upsets me now that I would never see the end of this story, but I mean, we probably will at some point in my life, and I'll cry on that day, but...
Yeah.
Until then,
all men will cry on that day.
Until then, we shall kick ass, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we got camo leech dropping by. Let's all sort these guys out.
Okay. I've got these elites.
I'm down.
Hunters? Why didn't you tell me?
I forgot they spawned in. I looked directly at them. I was like, oh, that's a hunter, I guess, and then ran away.
Yeah, I hope that hurt.
Thank you.
Is it really dead?
Somewhere inconspicuous, I hope.
So yeah, June's quite an interesting Spartan, just because he's... Okay, so aside from the fact that, you know, spoiler alert, he's going to be the only surviving member of Noble Team.
Oh, can we put
Yeah.
that... Sorry, can we very quickly put that to rest as well? George is dead. And I'd rather
Yeah.
talk about it on a different mission, but at the same time, just while it's on topic, he's dead.
Yeah,
He is
he
alive.
is dead.
He
I'll,
is
I'll,
gone.
I'll give all the reasoning as to how it's absolutely and utterly certain that George is dead in the Long Night of Solace. But
Yeah, but I'd like to close
for
that
now, I'm just gonna cover it by saying, yeah, George is dead. But yeah, June's quite interesting because obviously he's a member of Alpha Company. He was an exemplary individual of Alpha Company and was pulled aside from the normal rank and file of Alpha Company in order to become a specialist. There's a sniper rifle for you if you want,
I'll be alright. I'm just taking a look around the power plant.
unless you've got a sniper rifle and just want ammo.
Okay, I'll take it. You force my hand.
But yeah, so he was pulled aside to become a specialist Spartan, basically a non-company Spartan, and was swapped out of his semi-powered infiltration armor and given Mjolnir as an alternative. Obviously, Mjolnir being significantly more powerful. A lot of the Spartan-III's battle exploits, shall we say, were actually almost kind of assigned to the Spartan-IIs because the Spartan-IIs were more well known. So any of the great stuff that a Spartan-III did in Mjolnir was attributed to Spartan-II actions, as opposed to the reality of them actually being Spartan-IIIs. But then, yeah, June was basically very quickly assigned, because he's such a skilled marksman. He was very quickly assigned to Noble Team, and obviously survived Noble Team. And when Reach fell, he went back basically to the UNSC High Command and the Office of Naval Intelligence, and was handpicked to be the administrator, effectively, for the Spartan-IV program.
Oh. There we go. Now we know what happened to June.
Yeah, so the Spartan-IV classes were recruited. So, for example, Sarah Palmer, for prime example, was recruited by June.
Was she not previously an ODST?
She was previously an ODST, and she was actually laid up in hospital after a particularly brutal mission when June walked in and offered her a position.
Huh.
2 dashies.
Yeah, one's enough. Ta-da! So this here is the multiplayer map Powerhouse. Now, for
Yes.
any older hands, you will first remember this from the Halo Reach beta way back in May 2010.
I remember that.
Yep. I say old hands. I apologise to anyone who is
An old hand.
Yeah, old. But this map was one of those maps, and yeah, this has been around for a long time. So I don't suppose there's really much to talk about here that people won't really know about. It's just what it says in the tin. It's a powerhouse. There are a couple of things that are interesting to note. and I'd be quite interested to actually point a couple of these out. And these are just differences between the multiplayer map and the actual the campaign map. So down here, I don't know if they're here in multiplayer, but there are toilets, and they look very lavish. That's a toilet I'd sit on. Like, but also there are these showers, and these were removed from multiplayer because it sort of restricted any combat, because the grenade launcher spawn used to be in here. I think it still is. But it restricted movement in here, because a lot of fights would go on for the power weapon. There's still 2 grenades there, though. I don't think there's many other changes. The bridge is destroyed over here. You can't go across this bridge. I say destroyed, I don't think it's existence at all.
Considering how, like, grubby this toilet is, these toilets are strikingly immaculate.
Yeah, it's clearly like a copied asset from like Alexandria.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about that. It's canon. And then there's also a bunch of civilians over here that I'd like to point out as well that we passed because I got greedy and assassinated an elite. Now, when I was younger, I thought this was like a reference or a jab at Call of Duty 4. But I don't think it is. I think it's just a bit of scene dressing. But here, we have a bunch of dead guys. One with a pistol, right? At a destroyed bridge. A guy who looks... this is not here anymore, but he... it's like, it just kind of reminds me of Call of Duty 4 at the ending with Zakhev.
Yeah.
And this guy's got the pistol he's holding out, on the bridge, and he kills Zakhev. That's what it kind of reminds me of, but it feels like something's a bit different now that we're on MCC. Oh,
Yeah.
tell you what, let's take a look at the Skybox while we're here. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Do you know what that is? Right down there, that bridge?
That one.
Yep, that's the bridge there. I'm pretty sure it's the bridge that blows up at the beginning of the next mission.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's a
the
bit
one
of
that
foresight.
Cat jams the warthog across, and
Yeah.
don't go so well.
Goes well. No, interestingly enough, that lightning over there was lovely.
Oh yeah.
I just caught that out the corner of my eye. But yeah, this is honestly one of the just prettiest things ever.
Nice.
You can see the moon over there.
Yes.
And you can see the planet that is in. I think it's in every mission. You can see this with its rings just kind of hanging out.
Yep.
And then left of that, you can see a space rainbow. I'm going to crouch. Your barrel is sticking through the back of my head. Peekaboo. Yeah, which puts, let's see, that mountain to our southwest, over there.
Yeah.
That would be where the long night of Solace appears later on, and you can see it sort of contrasted against that, because that's further around, assuming.
Yeah.
Correctly. Actually, no, it's where that lightning's going off, isn't it? You see a little peak of a mountain there? Wait for the lightning to go off. It's directly south-southwest. You'll see a peak of a mountain when the lightning kicks off over there. If you fail to see it, you can cut to my screen, but...
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's... There you go, yeah. That's super interesting to me. I love how, like, everything works correctly.
Yeah.
It all works out. That down there is where all the warthogs are driving. Nice big open plateau. Can't go much higher than this. Oh, okay. There's a glitch for you speedrunning fans out there. When these doors are closed, if you park the forklift over there, right here, and hop out in the middle of these two doors, you can clip through, and none of the enemies in this area will load, and you can skip that entire previous section where we were just fighting.
Very nice.
Oh, sniper ammo here, by the way. Oh.
Do 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 do.
So, before we continue on past this and end the mission, should
Yep.
we talk about those Covenant spies? Oh, you can actually see a Covenant ship from here as well.
Really?
Yeah. I just caught a glimpse of something purple over there. It looks like a Corvette class. Southwest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never noticed that. Although I vaguely remember June saying something like one Covenant ship in sight. Oh look,
Yeah.
right below us actually is where the first firefight is for the next mission. Directly below us.
Yeah, that's it.
That's kind of cool. We're definitely gonna have to come back with some intention to look back up here and see if we can see some of this building.
Yeah, because that's the bridge that breaks, and then we end up crashing and rolling to our, rolling to a stop somewhere around like there.
Well, we roll to a
then-
stop on the bridge, don't we? And then we put. Will you fuck off? I'm trying to monologue. Okay, there we go. I got him. Yeah. That seems about right. Yeah? I can hear banshees. Oh, up high.
Bow. Yeah, it's worth noting we did a bit of research, didn't we, about the zealots?
We did, yeah. Let's talk about that. That's bloody
Yeah.
really interesting
So,
stuff for anyone who's not aware.
as we know from the winter contingency, we were the zealots that we came across in the building at the very end of winter contingency are actually a part of a group of zealots, and they're called the Devoted Sentries. And it's a group of zealots that are specifically attached to the fleet of Valiant Prudence. And basically their sole aim here is to hunt, well, Spartans, is to take us down. It's the same group of zealots that kill Emil at the end of the game. The zealot that pounces on Noble 6 at the very end is believed to be a zealot of the Devoted Sentries. Obviously, Carter kind of deals with himself. George kind of deals with himself. The sniper that shot Cat is also a member of the Devoted Sentries.
Yeah. And then we've also got left is June, who makes a great escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go down there, because that will end the mission, shall we talk
yeah.
about the spires as well? Because
Yes.
I want to talk about those, and you'll see why we're not talking about them next episode, when next episode comes out.
Yeah.
You guys will see why.
So the spires basically are extremely powerful, large area of effect active camouflage modules. And isn't there somewhere we can see one? Oh no, it's around the way, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You trying to take the banshees down?
Yep.
So yeah, the spires are a very large area of effect and very powerful active camouflage modules. They're brought into play, generally speaking, by smaller Covenant ships, corvettes and things like that, and they are set up to basically camouflage an entire area of a planet from view by. Oh, it's a. Oh, right. I got confused, and it was one of your holograms. But yeah, he was just stood over there, not doing a lot, and I was like, "Oh, there's another Spartan here with us."
Sorry.
But yeah, they're brought into play by smaller Covenant ships, and they camouflage large areas of the ground from any surveillance by any degree that's outside of their area of effect. And then underneath that, they can then use a translocation system built into the underside of the spires to teleport in basically entire invasion forces. They can teleport in crafts as big as the Spirit and Phantom dropships, and just literally load the area up with an invasion force, completely unbeknownst to the occupant species of the planet that they're invading.
So, those, you'll see why we haven't spoke about those much. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we end the mission? Take a look at my non-notes.
Nothing off the top of my head, to be fair. I think we've covered most things.
I think we've got everything. So those spires, it's a pity we don't actually see more use of them throughout the games. Mostly because they were thought up after the other games were made, but also I feel like somewhere in there there's a missed opportunity by 343, but it doesn't make too much of a difference to the game overall. I just think it's a really cool concept. You'd think with something that powerful, it would be used a lot more, especially for invasion, but it turns out the Storm Covenant are a bit more about showing off their brute force as opposed to getting the job done.
Yeah.
Which you can see in Spartan Ops when John Dharma talks to Geklahar, the other elite. He says to him, we've made enough of a show trying to get it back, which could be in one way construed as they're sort of just trying to show that they have, they've got a lot of effort they can put out into the field.
It's worth noting as well the I suppose the militia that are stood with us here are actually the names of Bungie employees.
Oh, who do we have? I don't have the militia names.
Well, we have Sketch here, Brian Gerard.
Oh, cool. Nice. You should tweet him.
Yeah,
afterwards.
found you.
Yeah, found you.
You can't just do that.
Okay, there he's gone.
Sorry, Sketch.
Which one's this one?
What the hell?
Which one?
This guy.
Seal.
Okay, you might want to back up first.
Kotevsky.
You might want to back up first.
Okay.
Nope. Okay, well, that was Kotevsky. Who is this guy? This guy with his bloody shotgun shells around his leg and everything, or his hip.
So I'm guessing Kotevsky related to Peter Kotevsky, and I think he was one of the engineering directors.
Okay. And who's this one I'm about
And
to nerd?
Hullum?
Is
Let me
it
have a look.
M. Hullum?
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's
Let's have a look.
Matt Hullum is the owner, or at the time was the owner of Rooster Teeth. So Matt Hullum, Hullum. Yeah.
Yep, Hullum. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, well, perish.
That's no trivial mistake. Watch Recon Bravo to Noble 2. We lost the civilians.
There we go.
June just said
Yeah.
that was more than just
more than just a trivial mistake. Well, you'd be surprised. I have a lot of trivial mistakes with my left trigger and civilians.
Why did he shoot me? Is your radar
Oh, I made Dutch grenade.
friendly? Was I hiding that well? Noble doesn't. Enough Spartans have died on this planet.
Well, you can see why he survived.
Radar tweak, I'm
Yeah.
friendly.
Plot armor.
Check your target. What the hell? Noble doesn't need any more dead in their ranks. Check your target. Shoot me a dream.
Oh,
Is your radar tweaked? I'm a friendly. Check your enough
Well, he's survived a lot of headshots.
Noble doesn't need any more
yeah. Why don't we just deploy him?
Yeah,
There we go.
you got this right, June. Just get down there and kill everything, because apparently you're immune to everything.
What you should do
What?
is instead of having your outro music, just have the sounds of him being absolutely just murdered by us. Oh,
Yeah.
up here. Up here. Yes! Go to the left. Here we go, look at this. An excellent view. You can't see the floor because it doesn't load in that texture there, but... Here goes a bunch of corvettes. That's what, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3 I'm looking at?
Yep, 3 corvettes.
That's a rock. Don't know why I thought that was a ship. Guess you're not meant to see it from up here. I wonder
Guess
if...
not.
If I can skip the mission trigger. Ha! Look at that. Game breakers. Just jump down to the left as much as you can. You'll skip the mission trigger there. There you go. Look at that. Bit more exploration. Game breakers. Yeah, okay, that's...
So it's not fully rendered in, obviously.
Yeah, well, they don't expect you to see it from here, really, do they?
No, but I can see 1, 2,
Let's see 3 corvettes.
3, 4.
Where's the 4th one?
Well, the blue that you can see at the back of the engine vent. So I can see 1, 2, 3 over to the left there, and then the big one right here close to us. 4.
Oh yeah, I can actually see that off in the distance over there. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's super cool. Didn't realize we could do that.
Any further around? No. Yeah, and I'll see how much further around I can go. Not far. Oh, right. Whoa!
Oh, elastic. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da.
Yeah, we got this.
You're on your own, Noble. That's kind of neat, isn't it? Oh, look, you can even see the canyon you have to drive down later with Cat. It's rendered in. So after your first fight, you drive down here and drop down, and the AA gun is directly below us, like that.
Yeah.
There you go. That works, doesn't it?
Only thing is, how do we activate the checkpoint now?
Nope. Okay. We can just revert checkpoint, right? There you go. I'm up. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Little bonus for everyone there.
Ooh, what happened then?
What happened?
My screen looked like the cameraman was just kicked in the back of the head.
I want to see that. There's an AA gun there.
Jackpot. Transmitting visual.
That's pretty cool.
I love the colours.
Receiving Nova 3 and Nova 6 live visual of a Covenant strike force.
It's no strike force. It's an invading army. If we're gonna smother this thing, we need to go in hard and fast.
Agreed.
You know.
All recon teams disengage and fall back. Sun will be up in a few hours. And it's
cool.
going to be a very busy
That's
day.
so lovely.